Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Rosie and welcome to my 2026 yearly reset. That's whack. If you're new here, my name is Rosie. I had a really insane 2024 and then another really insane 2025. However, I did not document much of 2025. So this is probably like the biggest recap I have. I have a whole lot of ground to cover, a lot of things to discuss with you. I'm so excited to do this. This feels right. This feels good. I love a reset video. They're always my favorite to film because it just feels like I'm like FaceTiming with you. So that's my favorite type of video to watch and make. So we will have to start with quite the long 2025 recap. So if you just want the favorites and the goals, you're like, I don't know who this lady is and I just want to see the stuff she liked, feel free to skip ahead. But I have a lot of tea I gotta catch you up on. I have a lot of lore to drop, so lock in. I cannot believe a full year has passed. I'm flabbergasted by how different I am today versus how I was a year ago. 2025 was obviously a year of immense change and growth and some setbacks, some, hard points, but a lot of discoveries and overall just like a transformative year. Some years are like character development years and some years are just sort of plot filler years. This was a character development year. And I kind of don't feel like I'm done with character development, but this was a major one for sure. So I think we're still going to be riding some of that into 2026. However, I do hope it calms down a little bit. That would be nice. But we'll see. The past year I had to really rediscover who I am, what I want out of life, like realign my goals. For those of you who don't know, in 2024, towards the end of it, I was living in Colorado. I was living with my partner at the time, and we ended our 4-year relationship. And I sort of had to just redo my whole life. Really didn't know what to expect other than I just knew in my heart I had to come back to New York. So I was like, the rest of the year, it was really just, let's get this going. I will enjoy what I can out of Colorado, but I need to get back to New York. I'd say 90% of my friends are here. My whole family is here. And I just know that all of the things I love and that make me, I flourish more in when I'm here. So I knew pretty quickly right away, once that relationship ended and I was entirely free to make my own decisions just for me, I was coming back to New York. However, that also meant I was coming back probably to my parents' basement, which is very funny because if you go back to, I guess 2023, 2020, maybe the top of 2024, in one of my videos, I say that moving back to my parents' house is probably like the last thing on earth I would ever want to do. Like I would just be taking it as a major L. I would not be satisfied with that decision and it would be sort of just a failure to me. And I will say I did have a lot of issues struggling between like feeling like I was a failure, that I did, fail in some aspects with the big move to Colorado, with the relationship, with everything, especially at the point of life I'm in. Like at that time I was 26, we're getting to later 20s, people are settling down, people are really solidifying their futures, and I felt like I had mine just like ripped out from under me. It was definitely all for the best, but obviously very destabilizing, and to just have my slate wiped clean while at the time like so incredibly stressful and terrifying was genuinely like such a big blessing and the best thing that probably could have happened to me at that point. So in Colorado last fall, when I decided I was going to move home, that was really just like the light at the end of the tunnel. That was my goal. I didn't know exactly when I was going to do it right when everything happened, but I knew it was going to happen sooner rather than later. My lease was technically up in May of 2025. And I knew I had to leave a little sooner than that. And we ended up figuring out that March would work. But really I had that goal, and once I had that date and like set in my mind, that was what I just kept moving towards. Like that was my focus. That is what kept me walking on the tightrope above like the pit of depression and anxiety that I knew would consume me if I let it. So it was just so helpful to like have a very specific time frame and goal to get out. And so at the top of 2025, I remember being like pretty solidly depressed. Like really, it was a very bittersweet moment where I was like, okay, I'm about to go home. I get to be surrounded by so many people I love, but I also worked really hard to like make my life in Colorado and make friends and really try to do my best to enjoy it, even if it wasn't perfect. And so I was really sad about leaving those people and the life that I fought so hard to create that I felt like was just sort of taken away from me. And then also at the top of the year, maybe 2 weeks before I moved, I had a major work change where essentially my manager was out and the head of my whole department got me on a call and said, hey, we're changing your territory. We're also changing a bunch of things about your job. And this all has to happen within the next 2 weeks. And so they wanted it to happen essentially when I was going to be out moving across the country. And for those of you who don't know, the territory I covered when I was living in Colorado was Colorado. It was the Rocky Mountain region. From the time I decided I was going to move home, I communicated for like 4 or 5 months. Hey, I would love to keep my territory, like I'll alter my hours. I just feel like I'm finally getting settled in it. I felt like I was doing really well in it. And the relationships have finally gotten to a really solid point where I was like, I want to stay here. I don't want to move. And so I confirmed that with my manager. I confirmed that with the manager of the region who I worked with. And it was all good up until that 2 weeks before. And then that sort of like torpedo was dropped on me in the midst of already changing my whole life. And then this was like the one piece of Colorado I had gotten to hold on to, and it was taken from me. And so I was not in a good spot when I was leaving. I was so upset and frustrated with just the way everything had turned out at that point. And I was looking forward to coming home, but I knew that once I got home, like that was the one thing keeping me going. And it was gonna fall out from under me. Top of March, I go through this work nightmare and I'm like, just get me out of here. 2 of my best friends in the entire world, Agatha and Liv, fly out to drive my ass and Iggy and all of my belongings across the country, which I mean is insane. I could barely like fathom asking my dad to do it because he was gonna help if I moved later, but I was like, this is truly like, I can't do it alone. But the idea of asking someone to do that much, never mind 2 people, it was so like crazy. And the fact that they just offered it up, no questions asked, they booked their flights, they came early, they helped. Even with, they had their own shit going on, they still like showed up for me in such a way that like I am just beyond eternally grateful for them. And on top of that, my group of friends back here, a group of them like got together without me knowing, asking anything, and essentially like a pooled together money to give to me to help fund the rest of the trip. The like last bit I needed to like pay for the Airbnbs and like the rest of the truck. And it was just, I mean, when the breakup happened, like obviously so many people go through breakups. So many people go through such similar circumstances, but this was the first time I had ever gone through anything like as life-altering as that, I would say. And then also a lot of friends in my immediate circle have not gone through such a major breakup after such a long relationship and in a far place. So like I feel like I felt very dramatic about the whole thing, but it really was like very, you know, like it threw my life through a loop. It like ended all of my ideas of the future and changed them on like just so quickly. And none of them had gone through that. So I just like, I'm so immensely grateful for the way they showed up for me and supported me through such a foreign thing for all of us. And they just, I love them so, so, so much and so deeply. And this year has just been the year of friendship. It's been the year of like, truly, I have enjoyed and cherished every moment of friendship I have gotten to share with these people this year. And I'll get into it later. I already cried writing this out, so I need to keep it moving, otherwise we'll never get anywhere. First and foremost, when I think of 2025, I think of the community that like showed up for me and supported me through it, and I love each and every one of you so very much. Thank you for every message, every call, every hangout, every check-in, anything. And even if like we haven't seen each other or haven't spoken in a while, like I just felt so loved and so supported, so thank you so, 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 so much. It really made everything, number one, possible, but number two, easier to move forward and like redefine what the hell I was doing with my life. So yeah, those first few months of the year were very bittersweet. I had to say goodbye to the people I loved in Colorado. They also showed up. They helped me pack my truck. They came to a breakfast ridiculously early the day I was leaving. They just all, like, once again, had their own shit going on and still showed up to show me love, and I love them each in turn individually. And yeah, I was really nervous about coming home and like what would happen once I finally got here, because I spent so much time building it up and being like, well, I have to get out of Colorado, obviously. Once I get back, like, then what? Then what do I do? So we did our road trip. Everything went well. By all means, my car probably should have like fallen apart and gotten a million tickets as we crossed the country. I didn't know that. Otherwise I would have done something about it, because I took it to get an oil change before I left and they didn't say anything was wrong. And then I got another oil change when I got there and they were like, your car has a lot of problems. So thank God we were okay. Everything was fine. We got back and I hit the ground running. I had already like pre-made plans months in advance, just to be excited when I got back there. And then they just sort of like kept going. Like I just kept planning things. I was busy almost every single night of each week for the first, I'd say, 3 months. Yeah, and then maybe it like chilled out around July-ish because I was exhausted by that point. But then I had Ashley come visit, and so it was so cool to have a Colorado friend in New York with me, like doing hometown tour. And then I had a big crazy work month in August. I really hit my wall in August. I'll tell you what, I was exhausted. The rest of the year I feel like flew by. We had so many crazy things going on. But anyways, I came back, I hit the ground running, I like made new friends, I reconnected with a bunch of old friends, and I once again like just spent as much time as I possibly could with all the people that I was so excited to see and like hadn't seen in a while. And just, yeah, it was just like so wonderful to be so surrounded by friendship and love when I was, don't get me wrong, I was still surrounded by friendship and love in Colorado, and I love those people with all my heart equally. However, I had obviously a significantly smaller community in Colorado. I was also like super sick a lot of 2024. I was broke, I was depressed, I was living in a house with my ex, and I was working and just like trying to save money and get out. So I was not doing anything in Colorado. For the last year I was living there, I would say I really just like worked, read a book, and went to sleep, or made a YouTube video. And then I would see my friends on the weekends, but like truly it was a lot less frequent because people were also quite far apart. So, you know, lots of factors there. And my community here is just so much bigger that like I was just, you know, and my friends here tend to hang out a lot, like with each other constantly because we're all in such a like close proximity. So I came back, I was hanging out with so many people so frequently, and it was so wonderful and so lovely. Like, it's so funny because I'm an introvert, like for sure, but I got back and all of a sudden I was like, I want to talk to everyone, I want to do everything, I want to see everything, like no limits. That did take a toll. I was like, maybe I am just an extrovert. No, I am very much, I need to recharge by being alone and not talking to anyone and like being by myself. I need that really bad. And so I kind of don't think I would have been able to pull off what I was doing if I didn't like work remotely from home, where I do have like a lot of silence and a lot of like time to myself when I need it. I really like, you know, hit my walls, figured out what my boundaries were, and then started balancing it out, I'd say, in fall. Fall into winter, chilled out a little bit. Still busy, still doing a lot of stuff every week, but like very much able to take time for myself, maybe like 2 to 3 days in a row where I wasn't doing anything, and that was good. Along with this, like, I started my dating era. Crazy. I have a shared note on my phone, notes app note, with my friends, like sort of like going through my dating chronicles since being back, and that shit is insane. I looked at it the other day to update it, and I was like, oh my god, like just so much has happened in this year. It's nuts. And it's really funny, specifically in the dating area. Prior to my last relationship, I had been on 2 dates, maybe ever, maybe one. I didn't date. Like, it just wasn't something that I had time for, that I felt capable of doing, that I was like confident enough to do. So prior to my last relationship, like, this was not a thing for me. And so coming home, I was working through a lot of, you know, stuff from the relationship and how I felt about myself in relation to dating. And physically, I've always had, you know, body image issues. And so I was like, no one's ever gonna be interested. No one's gonna want me. No one, like, who want me? It would be dead silent. But I came back, and there are just like a lot more people here, I think, too. So the phone was not dry, and it was a very new experience. So different types of anxieties were coming up, and I was learning so much about myself and like what I wanted. And I've gotten so much pickier about what I need in a partner and like what I'm looking for in, I think, a relationship and life. And that is both like positive and frustrating. You know, it's a lot harder to find a partner when you have your life set, rather than you find a partner as you're both building your lives up in your early 20s, and it's easier to mold around one another. It's a lot harder now to find someone who meets my standards, who fits in with what I want and what I need, versus like way back when I was first dating, like that very first time around, I was sort of like, I was very flexible. I was very loosey-goosey. I could make things like, you know, whatever. So it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge. I have a lot of fun stories from it. I would love to share more on the internet. However, I don't want to be that person, because once it's out there forever. A lot of them don't even know I like have a YouTube channel. Most of the people, I want to do a dating wrapped because I think that would be really funny, so I might do one for my TikTok. But I saw 3 people for more than 3 dates. So I would consider those like I was dating them for a period of time. So there were 3 people that extended for, you know, longer than a month. I only told one of them about my YouTube, and then the other one of them found it unprompted, and I was like, that's weird, but whatever. Dating was like such an anxiety when I first like came back, but now I feel like I'm a pro at first dates. Like, I love a first date. I love getting to know someone and like asking fun questions. I've figured out I'm really good at talking to strangers and keeping conversations going, which is fun. Not something I've ever thought my anxiety-ridden ass would be able to do. Nothing crazy serious. We're continuing on into the new year. We're seeing what's out there. But yeah, that was a big part of 2025. And by the end, I'm sort of like sick of hearing myself talk about all of these insane dates and situations I'm finding myself in. I attract a lot of very interesting people, but I just love a little freak. I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see what 2026 brings. That was certainly a part of being home, was the new world of dating that I entered. I got to celebrate love in such a different way than I feel like I have over the past few years. Like, obviously when you have a partner, that's a huge focus in your life, and like you see them every day, you're talking to them every day, whatever. It's just like a major focus, and that type of love is front and center. And so this year I feel like really gave me the chance to really like experience and fully appreciate and pour into friend love, family love. I got to go to 3 weddings for my friends, and it was so beautiful to like see them like just commit to their person who they each clearly love so much. And then on top of that, I got visited by my Colorado friends. Amanda and Ashley both came in, and I got to show them my home and what I love about New York. I got to be here for things I had never been here before for. That feels like such a stupid sentence, but I think logically it makes sense in the English language. Like, I got to be here for Lindsay's Friendsgiving that I've heard about before. And I got to be here for Mel's bonfire that she does every year, and I'm always like watching through the phone, and I'm like, oh, I wish I was there. So it was really just like so many wonderful core experiences that really helped me like ground myself, refigure out who I was, and just like experience enjoying life again. The last few years have been kind of dark and like almost like nothing but struggle bus, just bump after bump after bump. There were obviously some highlights, but it was really a lot of struggles back to back to back, pretty much like from getting to Colorado onward. So to be back and feel good is so nice. Obviously, there were a lot of bumps in the road. While this year overtly like was a positive one, and overarching the theme was like growth and joy. We had a lot of hard stuff going on. I was not coming back for a particularly happy reason. Literally when I was driving back, my Nana was put into the hospital, so immediately we were on the struggle bus with my family. There was a lot of family health issues this year, but I in turn was grateful that I was home for them. So like I was able to visit, I was able to help out where I could, when in past it would just be getting a phone call and being concerned from many states away. I had a lot of big emotions I had to obviously process. Although we broke up in September, I still like was living with my ex until March. So it kind of felt like I went through the breakup again. And I then went from, you know, still seeing this person every single day to just having them entirely out of my life. And I have never gone through that before, and it really sucks when you have to essentially lose a best friend and you know it's for the best, but God, is it not fun. We did not entirely full no contact, but we did give each other a lot of space. And only recently, in the past couple months, I'd say, have we been speaking again. Also, just to like really, you know, finish processing those emotions. I didn't allow myself to be really angry or very sad, like I said, when I was in Colorado and living there. I just sort of held on to everything so I could bottle it up and like figure it out when I got home. And so when I got home and when I was finally done being busy, truly like I just kept everything in, and I would like occasionally have a bad day, but a lot of my stuff I just kept bottled up, didn't really deal with because I was busy and enjoying myself and I didn't want to deal with the bad emotions. And so around fall, I sort of just like the bubble popped and I was experiencing a lot of anger and a lot of like frustration, and I was very, very upset. So the fall and winter has been sort of like a tough period. Alongside processing all of those emotions, I was also starting new medications. During that period of me going through the breakup and coming home, I went off all of my meds, which don't recommend. I know why I did it, and I did talk to my therapist through it, and I did have a psychiatrist that I was also talking to through it. Don't do it cold turkey, it's not good. I went off all of my medication, including like birth control, like everything, to just like cleanse my body and restart, because I was going through so much that I was like, I need to feel my emotions in order to know what emotions I'm having. And I was just so numbed out from all of the meds I had been on that weren't really working for quite a bit of time. And so I did a full cleanse. I came back, I saw my doctor that I used to go to when I last lived here, and then I found a new psychiatrist. I finally got an ADHD diagnosis, which was validating, and then now I can like actually work on it with medication in tandem, because I have known for a long time that I'm pretty sure I had ADHD, but psychiatrists were so expensive. I couldn't find one that would take my insurance for so long, and I just gave up. After a certain point, I just gave up. And then I got back here and I was like, no, I'm taking this seriously. We had to get the rest of my meds situated before I get into the idea of like even treating my ADHD. And so genuinely from April through October, I think, I was trying new medication or upping doses on medication once a month. So my emotions were all over the place. My body was all over the place. Like, I feel like I really I put my body through it, but this was the time and the place to do it. And in that period where I went off my meds, I was pleasantly surprised by how well I was handling things. However, I did know that like it was still hard enough that I didn't have to be doing it that way. Like, I was pleasantly surprised at how much therapy progress I had made, and like there were certain things that I noticed I was handling so much better. However, I was still struggling a good amount, and so I was like, I don't have to be struggling. So I was happy to find a new medication, see what would work. The medications I'm on right now, I'm on an antidepressant and a stimulant and birth control and, you know, allergy meds. But that combo, like having to find all the different levels for this combo, like just was such a long process, and I had pretty strong like immediate reactions to them in a way that I have not had for other medications. So that does give me confidence that they're working, and I do prefer the way I feel on them than I did on my other combos like last year. However, it was just a lot to go through, you know, constantly adjusting. It was still like a major period of change, and my emotions were all over the place because my hormones were being fucked with as we try to make them regular. I feel like we're at a good spot with it. We're sort of leveling out. I might increase the stimulant 1 or 2 more times, but we're doing now like 2 months at a time, to like really feel it out. I spent a lot of time having to reconcile who I was in Colorado, like who I had grown to be kind of like alone and outside of the influence of my friends here, even though I obviously talked to them and saw them when I could, and who I became in Colorado with who I was the last time I lived here. And that was really interesting because I expected, you know, like some stuff to come up. You're living in your parents' house, like obviously that's a little triggering in some ways. And yes, some things did come up, but I've also noticed like even in how I interact with my friends, being able to see them more frequently, like who I am when I'm meeting new people now, especially like the dating thing, I think really, funny enough, like gave me a strong sense of self where it was like, okay, well, I know what I want to say about myself, how I would summarize myself, and what my strengths are in these situations. So yeah, but having to reckon with all of that and coming back, and especially knowing like my friends were so kind to like help me get back. I was like, what if I'm not the person they remember, and like they'll be like, why did we waste all that time? She's like not the same, you know? And I was also dealing with the deep rooted fear that I was just inherently unlovable, as many people feel. I know that is not like a unique problem, but after ending a relationship with someone you thought you were going to marry, and so resigned is the only word I can say that like is close to what I mean. I wasn't necessarily resigned at the end of the relationship, but I was aware that I had made so many compromises, and I was so close to like that I was willing to make just whatever happen to make it work because I wanted it so badly. And so, yeah, like I had morphed into a different version of me. I was not pursuing the goals I had initially, you know, like always dreamed up, all of these things. I was making a lot of compromises that I wasn't necessarily unhappy about, but I also like now that I'm free to make whatever choices I want to make, I'm not making those choices anymore. Now that I was like, now I have to figure out who I am, but I already know who I am is different from the person I think everyone here thinks I am. And what if that person is unlovable, and like all of this stuff. So yeah, once again, when the busyness stopped taking over my life and that kicked in, I had a lot of work to do. Therapy has really been, thank God, like super clutch. I love my girl Kylie. I would not be alive without her, and that is an honest, true statement. But yes, just time and time again, I feel like I've figured out new things about myself. I have been able to figure out who I am in the present moment, I think, pretty strongly. Whereas I almost, thinking back to the last time I lived here, I had such a weak sense of self, and so much of what I thought about myself was defined by my anxieties, that now that I'm back and I've gone through so much and I've changed so much and had all these experiences, I feel pretty confident I know who I am and I like that person, which I did not like myself the last time I lived here. And so that's really nice. It's really nice when I do have those strong moments and I'm like, wow, I like myself and I can give more of myself than I think I ever have been able to give to other people. And I am just grateful to be in that place. And so like some of the things I've rediscovered about myself is in the last year, I've really like dove back into music. And so I have podcast spells and I have music spells, and I feel like the last really strong music spell I had was 2021 spring. I have a favorite playlist that I always go back to. It's called April Fools. And when I think about the last like banger playlist I made, it was that one for the whole time I lived in Colorado. Coming back here, I have just like really, I caught up on all my podcasts, whatever, sort of put them to the side and really just dove back into music. And it is sort of, I'm realizing like when I'm super in touch with my emotions, that's when I'm like really in a music era. And I love it. And I'm so happy to be in a music era right now. And I love a podcast. I put them on while I'm working. But I think a lot of my podcast eras have been, I just need like white noise so I'm not thinking and alone with my thoughts. So it's definitely probably healthier for me to be in a music era. So much great music this year. So along with like just really getting back into discovering new music, I went to a lot of concerts. Oh my God. I went to more concerts this year, I think, than I've ever gone to in like a full year before. And phenomenal. I loved it. It was so thrilling and just like felt so good. And then I'm also teaching myself guitar. I've had a guitar for 5 years, and I just recently like really committed to it now that I'm on the Vyvanse. I've been practicing it almost every day for the past like 2-3 months. So I'm very proud of that. I'm starting to get the hang of it a little easier. I really have just like gotten back in touch with like my theater kid side. Obviously I'm in New York. I saw every Broadway show I wanted to see this year. When it comes to money, this year, I blew it all, but I wouldn't say blew it. I'd say I spent it on experiences and things that I wasn't able to in Colorado and didn't have like the same desire to, because there were so many things I wanted to do and experience here that really like brought something to my life. So I'm happy to have spent the money on that. So I saw every show I wanted to see on Broadway this year, and thank God I did. It really just like, I love theater so much, and I studied it in school, for those who don't know. I miss doing it, and I think being back in New York has really helped like bring back alive that part of me, and being surrounded with the people that I did theater with for so many years. Like most of my college friends are still here. It's been so magical and very inspirational for me in a lot of ways. Watched a lot of good TV, a lot of good movies. I've decided I think I like Matthew McConaughey as an actor after seeing him in quite a few things that were good this year. I tried a lot of new restaurants. I drank a lot of margaritas, and I went to the beach as much as possible, and I really just tried to take absolute advantage of everything I could about being on Long Island at this point in my life. And once again, this would not have been possible without my friends helping me get back, and also my family for like letting me live here, and they haven't charged me rent. So all of the money that I was like struggling to come up with in Colorado and then like do nothing in my house, I really just put to fun things this year and like bringing myself back to life. And thank God I was able to do so. And my family has been just so supportive and truly the best, truly the best. So like when I was like, oh, moving back home is the worst thing I could possibly think of a couple of years ago, no girl, it's the best thing that has ever happened to me. The best. So that's my insanely long recap. It's been a crazy year. If there's anything you want me to get more specifically into detail on in the future, let me know. But I'm an open book. I think 2025 was my best year since 2019, genuinely. And I'm so excited to see what 2026 brings. Like I said, I feel like I'm not done with the character development yet, but I definitely think we're sort of like slowing down, chugging along at a natural pace now rather than like a rapid fire change constantly. There's some major change coming soon, which is good. But I'm looking forward to, once again, settling into like this new phase of life, this new person that I am, and just really enjoying it for what it is. 2025 was a doozy in a great way, a very good one. But I feel like I'm just like such a different person. I feel like I was sort of like living in the shadow of myself and who I knew I was for so long, that being back here has really just like brought me back to life in Technicolor. So I didn't film so much of this year because really that was one piece that I was having a hard time reconciling Colorado me with New York me, because so much of my love for YouTube has been the connection part and like getting to know the inside of someone's life and sharing it with my friends. And specifically it was for my New York friends, and also, just anyone who I didn't live near. And being back, I'm seeing them all. Like I'm telling them in person, and it is such a different experience. And so I felt the need to vlog less, but I think that was good. I think that let me like level set and come back to myself, figure out who I am. And now I'm feeling again like, okay, well, that was the purpose of the vlog back then. What can the purpose be now? And there's definitely some changes going on. I think it will be a good guiding force to have in 2026 for me creatively. And so I'm looking forward to hopping back in it, perhaps maybe a little different than I have in the past. Certainly more New York based, obviously. 2025, crazy year. I'm excited to show you more of 2026, hopefully. Now that I'm done with the recap, I feel like I probably just talked for an hour. I hope I can edit that down. Let's get on to like the fun, normal parts that everyone actually like wants to see. The favorites. I'm gonna start with like my items, and then I'll get into like the media of it all. I just have them on a mess right here. They've been in a mess on the bed the whole time. Don't look at them. No, okay. Okay, slight adjustment. Don't go back and look at my side. Just watch from here on out and be surprised by the things I pull up. Okay? Okay. Number one, the airwrap. Ka-chow. This was the year of the airwrap for me. I was never a big blow dryer gal. My ex got this for me for my birthday like 3 years ago. And I did use it. I did love it, and I did ask for it. But obviously it was like such a trend. And then this year I came home, my hair just sort of freaked out. Like the curls were not curling in any way I wanted them to. It was really dead. And I was like, well, I can't just like leave it like that. and I was doing so much that I needed it styled to feel good about myself. So the Mighty Airwrap came in, and girl, she's gotten good use this year. I will use the round bristle brush, blow dry, and once, like, I let it get 70 to 80% dry, and then I blow dry it out, and then I will go in and do some light curls. And I love the way it comes out. Like, the curls do fall out. I don't use hairspray. I just like hate the crunchiness of it. So the curls do fall out within the day, but I don't mind because then it just looks like a normal blowout and my hair still doesn't look whack or like creasy and weird. And then in tandem with that, I also this year have been using the Color Wow Dream Coat, this thing, which they had used on my hair a million times at Ulta when I've been getting it dyed. And this year, I don't know why I finally decided to pick it up, but I did. It makes such an insane difference, especially since I'm using the blow dryer so much. It is such a good like heat protectant slash like hair oil product that I just feel like my hair feels a lot better when I use it versus when I forget to use it, or even like when it air dries, it just feels different. And I feel like this feels nicer. And I notice it definitely helps hold styles longer. So like the blowout looking hair lasts so much longer when I do use this. So this is worth the hype. Okay, and then in the makeup realm, I think I say this every year. This is the best product I own. This is, if I had to repurchase one thing from Sephora all the time and I could only do one thing, it would be this. This has saved my lips a million times over. The Ilia Lip Wrap Reviving Balm. I have to have like 3 or 4. I just got another one for Christmas. Thank goodness. That haul is linked below. Yeah, I have them in multiple purses, one on my little dresser back there, this is that one, and then one at my desk. And then I try to keep one in my car if I remember. I have the Rhode, what is this? Pocket Blush in Toasted Teddy, which I remember ordering off the TikTok shop. It looks a little whack, but that's the color. But I remember ordering it off the TikTok shop because I just really wanted to try it, and I really liked the color, but I was scared of blush. I was never a big blush person. Like, I've always loved makeup. I've never really been huge into blush. This has changed my mind, especially even about like a cream blush. I was like, this is just gonna be a mess. And no, I love this. It fades so quickly in a good way, in the sense of like, I can put on this insane color, blend it out, and then it looks normal very fast. Or I can put it on, blend it out, and then put a blush on top of it, and that lasts so much longer because it has like the base to hold on to. So very big fan of this, and I do think I would like to get at least one other color in the future. Next, I have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter, which I have tried this before, but for whatever reason, it never hit for me in the past. This year, it's hitting. I love the applicator. Like, the giant doe foot is just so satisfying. And then I feel like you get so much product, and it's like not a crazy expensive thing. I'm in the color 0, LOL, fair. But I am someone who, I'm wearing it right now with concealer, and I don't like to wear a thick foundation because of my skin texture. I have a lot of bumps. I have like my little, you know, marks that I don't like to look covered up if I can help it. And I have a very dry forehead. So I try not to wear foundation. I try to wear concealer, and this, I put this on, and then like the amount of concealer I need is just so drastically decreased. Like, it's wonderful. And it's nice and glowy, and I can set it with a powder if I want it to not be super glowy. It's just awesome. I really like the way it looks on my skin, it feels on my skin, and then it gives me like just the teentiest amount of coverage to like make my coloring even, which is all I really need. And then I conceal anything else I need something thicker for. So this, major slay. Then I have the Morphe color pencil in Foolish. It's a lip liner. This is my favorite lip liner of all time. I've tried a lot of lip liners. I'm a big lip liner girl. And so this is the first color I got of this lip liner just because I thought it was pretty. And since purchasing this, I've purchased probably 4 or 5 other colors of this. This specific formula, they don't have a ton of colors in for Morphe, but I love this color. It's so buttery and smooth. It lasts a crazy long time. Like, I go out to eat, I drink, and then I still have some lip liner left on. And this color is just like perfect in my opinion for me, of like my pink that's like not quite my lips, but better, but like a little pinker. This is just like my preferred lip color, I'd say. And it looks great under almost every gloss I have. I love it. And then skin, I have really been loving the Bubble Cloud Surf Water Cream Moisturizer. This is my second container of it, and it's only like $10. It's like very cheap and affordable. It has this little thing you push up and then you get some out. This This, I have to say, the annoying thing is like the packaging. They put that in there so you don't like lose any, but I can't get it out. And I've tried really hard, and I've asked my mom to also. The last one we got out by literally like taking a knife and like stabbing it to pieces and pulling out the pieces. So I decided I didn't want to fight this one because you can press it and stuff still comes out, so it's okay. But this I feel like is the perfect like weight. It's also like nice and small, so it's been good as I travel. It's very lightweight, so I feel like I can put a lot on without making myself greasy, which has been important to me. And then along with that, I've been using the Refi Clear Eye Balm. I like the packaging. I like the way it, you know, like comes out kind of like a lip thing, but like you put it under your eyes. I feel like I notice a difference underneath. I just noticed that like I've been trying really hard to take care of my skin this year, and it definitely like hydrates my under eyes very well. I don't know if it like depuffs them or anything else. I find my concealer creases less when I use it. And let's move on to scent items. We have two. I have to start with this one. This is the Cyklar Crescent Nutrient Rich Body Cream. I just also got myself the body wash to go with it. Oh my God. It's decadent. It's sweet, but not overwhelmingly so. And it's kind of gourmand, I'd say, in that it reminds me of like, if you made fresh bakery bread with perfume in it, which sounds insane. I know that does not sound very good, but it just smells like a rich person who really likes to bake. That's what it smells like in my head. And it's so decadent. Like decadent is really the good word for it. It's very thick, like creamy, like, and I feel like you get a lot for what you're paying. It is like $35, which is a lot of freaking money. So I bought it on Black Friday when there was a sale. But I do love it now so much that I think I fear this is a part of like my routine. I do love it so, so much. And it makes your skin feel so good. And one of the things that makes it stand out, in my opinion, is that the scent is insanely long lasting. Like the first time I used this, I did, you know, like my full body shower, I shaved everything, put it on everything. I was like, oh, that's so strong. It smells so good. I climbed into bed with my fresh little sheets, put up my blanket, went to bed. I woke up, I was still smelling it. I was like, ooh, that's wonderful. I get out of bed, I go about my day. I climb into bed later that night and I'm still smelling it on my sheets, like, and my skin as well. But genuinely, like the smell power, like, stays so much longer than any other lotion I've ever tried. So I will say it's good stuff. Good job, Claudia Saluski. I'm using the shower gel as well, but like I got that maybe a week ago, so I can't speak on it as strongly. It smells delicious, the same as this. It's very thick, it's like feels nice. I'm sure it does something to help even elongate the smell more, but this just does the job already so much that I would say if you had to choose one, go for the cream, like the nutrient rich body cream. And then along with that, my scent of the year, like the new scent I had chosen, was the Prada Paradox Intense, which is this. And it's a very cute bottle. It is, to me, I just associate it with like New York dating. It just smells like I feel like every girl in the West Village has this, if that makes sense. And it's very specifically like I used it every time I was going into the city or going on a date. Very frequently those would overlap, so that's what's in my head. And it's fruity, it's fun, but it still feels sort of appropriate for nighttime. And it's not like a classic fruity scent I've ever smelled before. It smells very like adult. So that mixed with this has been like actually a really great combo. I have gotten compliments on it, so. Okay, and then my final item before we move on to like media and such of favorites is my Coach Brooklyn bag. I don't know what size this is. I'll figure it out and I'll put it on the screen. When I moved home, I got my goal bonus for 2024. I paid off a lot of things, but then I also bought myself a nice purse because that's what I do. I also got myself this little guy. His name is Edward, in reference to that tweet, I think that's like, if Edward had a phone, he'd tweet Bella, or he'd text Bella shit like this. Just saw a snail today, effervescent. Yeah, so if you ever see him, just know that's his purpose. But this girl, it's perfect. It like fits just what I need it to fit. Obviously it's open and loosey-goosey, so like that might be concerning in New York City, but I feel like I'm very used to it, so I'm good at like keeping it clamped down. And it has like the magnetic enclosure. On top of that, it has another little pocket in here you can snapshot as well. I've found that this is just like the perfect size bag for me. It fits a lot of stuff while still like looking very cute, and I do adore it. Okay, we're gonna rapid fire the media. Favorite book I read this year is probably Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's the one I've thought about the most, I think, afterwards. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I liked that this one was astronaut themed and of course a little gay, very gay. And this one is signed. I got it from the Strand. This was a book club pick for my book club that we did. I loved it so much. I can't recommend it more. Okay, and then the other two books I would say that really stood out to me this year were Sunrise on the Reaping, of course. Threw me back into the Hunger Games spiral real hard. Most of my For You page was Hunger Game edits for months. And then also I really liked Normal People. I read that for the first time this year. I've been very iffy on Sally Rooney's work. I don't love that she doesn't use the quotation marks. That just like, to me, I feel like makes it harder to read. I'm also very iffy on like contemporary lit fic, just because sometimes it feels like, I don't know, just too day to day, in that I'm like, okay, I'm reading for escapism. I'm reading to like get a grand adventure out of it. Like I don't need to read about like depressing millennial things. And while this was like very depressing millennial, it was still like really beautifully done, I think. And the fact that it did take place in Ireland rather than, you know, somewhere I knew very well, I think that gave me enough escapism that I was like, oh, I really love that. And it was very beautiful. I read it in a day. It was wonderful work. I get why people love it. Other favorites. Clothing brand in general, Abercrombie & Fitch. They freaking killed it this year. This shirt is from Abercrombie & Fitch. I think every time I had to replace something in my wardrobe, I went to Abercrombie & Fitch for it. And also their sizing, like even though they don't technically have extended sizing, I would say I'm a size 20, like XXL in almost everything everywhere. Possibly have to go bigger depending. Their XL fits me. For the curvier girlies out there, just a heads up, maybe go try their XL in store. Like that shit frequently, like it works. Like I said, huge music year for me. I am reading these off my phone. Hee hee, sorry. Albums, Kansas Anymore Deluxe by Role Model. Oh my God. Who's the Clown by Audrey Hobart. Ultrasound and Melodrama by Lorde. For Taylor, it was Reputation, Torture Poets Department, and of course I did listen to quite a bit of Life of a Showgirl. And then surprising, Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter. I have not been like super on the Sabrina Carpenter train in the past, but I really liked that album. It was really good. Kansas Anymore, when I got home, like I just like jumped into a Role Model like obsession. Oh my God. I went to see him at Gov Ball. Like I purchased the full Gov Ball ticket just to see him. And that album, I think, has really carried me through this year. It's been in my on repeat since January, still is now. And it's just a really perfect breakup and processing album. So I think it came to me at the time I needed it the most, you know? Same with Melodrama. Also, Kansas Anymore and Melodrama have been surprisingly like the albums that I've found the easiest to learn on guitar. I've been really gravitating towards songs from those two to practice my guitar. So like, that's been fun. Let's get into specific songs. I had a huge Rainbow Kitten surprise year because I saw them at Asbury Park at the Stone Pony over the summer with my coworker friends, and it was so phenomenal. I used to like Rainbow Kitten Surprise in college and then sort of faded away, but this really just like reignited the love I had, and I dove back in. I have a lot of their songs on my top 100 of the year from Spotify or whatever, but Hide by Rainbow Kitten Surprise I think was 100% my favorite song of the year. I listened to it so much, and I think it came in second to Claws by Charlie XCX, which another banger song, and that is my technical #1 song of the year, but in my heart Hide is the #1 song, if that makes sense. But yes, second, Claws. Oh, also I'll toss Brat on the albums of the year. Brat, but it's different, but it's the same. You know, the remixes. I had a big Brat year because I finally had a Brat summer. So that was fun. Had a lot of Charlie XCX going on. Dance Yourself Clean and American Dream by LCD Sound System were two songs that I really loved this fall. I have been aware of LCD Sound System, but never really listened to them before this. And then I just like, those two songs really hit. I feel like they were very good for like, God, everything sucks, but I love my friends, and you know what, like, we'll make it through this together. For Role Model, my two favorites off the album are Old Recliners and Writings on the Wall. Adjacently, Spring into Summer by Lizzie McAlpine. Beautiful song. Once again, right song, right time. Very stunning. Is It Over Now and Now That We Don't Talk by Taylor from the 1989 re-release, or Taylor's version rather. Those two just like have stayed on repeat for so long, but they hit so hard this year. They were so good and exactly like right for the moment. Egg by Joe. I also listened to a good amount of Joe this year. I am not caught up on Stranger Things. I hope Steve is okay in the underground, but I know that he's making some banger music in real life, so thank you, Joe Curie. I'm on Fire by Bruce Springsteen. Love him. Classic. Shooting Star by Audrey Hobart. Oh my god. I loved the whole album. I think I genuinely did listen to every single song on the album and had it on a playlist at a different point throughout like summer, fall. But Shooting Star is my absolute favorite. It just like is so perfect, and it's so... she is such a specific writer, as I'm sure many of you know, and it really like that specific feeling was just, I feel like, encompassed my year. It was just so real. Finally, I really liked the band Junior Varsity. I haven't listened to a ton of their music, but the three I've had on repeat since like September have been I'm Not Crazy, Give My Heart, and Cross the Street. So I'm excited to look into them further for 2026. Okay, TV, Heated Rivalry, duh. Of course I loved it. We can't even get into it. I just went to the cottage this morning. We can't even get into it. Anyways, loved it, adored, beautiful. Thank God we're getting more. Severance, hello. That was like such a strong, like that was such the beginning of my year. It encompassed so much of my brain space. I was like, I can't believe that was this year. That's crazy. Severance, phenomenal. Yellow Jackets, really good, strong season, crazy stuff happening. And I don't want the next season to be the last one, but I'm intrigued to see what happens whenever it does happen. And then Welcome to Derry. I watched that with both my brother and then my friends separately. And so it was very fun to watch a TV show like twice as it was happening, because I feel like I picked up on so much. And I do love the It series. I think they're just so phenomenal and so fun. And then finally, movies. I did my best to watch movies that I keep saying I should have watched for a while. And I did do a good few of them this year, so feel proud about that. But Interstellar, phenomenal. I did an Interstellar and Arrival, which is next on this list, double feature one day. Blew my brain. Insane. Can't believe I hadn't seen either of them. Two of my new favorite movies. I love them. Dead Poet Society, obviously gorgeous. Weapons, I thought was so fun. I saw it twice. Brokeback Mountain. Those cowboys. Oh, they got me good. They got me good. Sinners, duh. Phenomenal. And then I'm pretty sure I saw Nosferatu this year. I'm pretty sure I saw it this year and not last year. And so just in case, I'm tossing it on here because that's a beautiful movie, I'll tell you what. Okay, now that we have wrapped up the favorites, let's finally move into the goals. Guys, I'm sorry, I can't help but yap. I just keep yapping. I have a lot to tell you, okay? So let's look at last year's goals and let's look at next year's goals. Woo. I had to take a snack and water break because I've truly been talking to myself for like 3 hours. It's ridiculous. Now I have my journals and we're gonna jump in. I, for real, could not find the original place I wrote my 2025 goals. So I had to go back and watch my own YouTube video and rewrite them down. Please ignore the fact that this is not what it looked like last year, but I did rewrite them. And I did already go through the trouble of crossing off and checking and all that stuff. I was ambitious at the top of 2025. I was like, this is gonna be a wild year. Obviously a lot changed and like we did a lot and a lot of things got like, you know, got going, but it was really a year where I had to like let the world take me where I needed to go. I could not necessarily direct all of the change that was happening. I feel like 2026 will be similar. So I've tried to choose goals that are within my control, whereas this was just like far too ambitious. So I'm still proud of what we did accomplish, all things considered. Number 1, read 100 books. LOL. That was so funny of me to think I could do that. Let's see how much I actually read. So I read 37. And I did change the goal twice. I dropped it down to 75, and then in my head I dropped it down to 50. but I read 37. And you know what? 37 is still a ridiculous amount of books to read in a year for like a normal person with a normal life, which I'm realizing now, because I did read probably 20 of those like before I moved. So 100 books, not in this phase of life. I did it once. I did it last year. Probably not again. But I know that now. And I'd much rather be seeing my friends and doing fun things than sitting alone in my home reading all the time, because that's just what I was doing prior. Pay off 75% of my debt. No. Like I said, I came home and I used all that money that I was no longer putting towards surviving towards enjoying myself. And I feel like something that really connected in my head this year is how emotional money is for me, for everybody, but like especially for me. I got to a point where I stopped beating myself up about the fact that I was like going out to eat, seeing my friends, saying yes to everything, doing all of these experiences, because that was what I had been craving to do for years. And I was just, it was the whole reason like I want to be here, is to be able to do those things. I haven't had to take out any more personal loans. I've still paid down some debt, and it's not 75% of my debt, but I'm still pleased with how I spent my money this year. And I don't feel like I was stupid with a lot of it. There were, of course, some things I did that I regret, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So no, I did not pay off 75% of my debt. Next, explore upstate New York. I did do that. I went up to Sleepy Hollow with Amanda when she was here, and that was my first time up there actually to like hang out. So I got to check that off. Finished my Colorado bucket list. I couldn't find the Colorado bucket list either, but I did a lot of stuff in Colorado before I left, so I just checked that off. Start at least one creative hobby. Yes, I've been playing the guitar, and so we did that. Focus on getting Iggy out more. So this one has a little squiggly, a squiggly as in like, it's in progress and like I did do it, but not in the way I expected to do it. So Iggy has spent the most time outside than he ever has here this year, which is wonderful, because my parents have a backyard. And he has Izzy to play with. So they're out like 7-8 times a day. They're having fun. They're going out. They're having a great time. In my head, when I thought get Iggy out more, I thought, oh, we find a dog park nearby, or, oh, I make him little puppy friends. He did make a puppy friend. He did meet Megan's puppy, and that went very well. So not exactly what I pictured, but I didn't not do it. Just like looked a little different. So it got a squiggly. It didn't get a check. It didn't get an X. Next. Save $5,000 in the high yield savings account. I did not do that. I did not do that. However, I did save $1,300, which by all means is not nothing. It's not nothing. However, we will be refocusing on that in 2026 for a multitude of reasons. Spend more time with family. I did that. Check. Not only with my family who immediately lives in this house, I spent a lot of time out at my grandparents, spent a lot of time with my Aunt Kathleen, my Uncle Tommy, and my cousins, Gracie and Kristen. Next, another squiggly, choose to take care of my body. When I wrote this down, I can tell you I almost certainly thought of that in the terms of like losing weight or going to the gym, but I did choose to take care of my body by going back on the medicine, by changing the medicine, by getting the ADHD diagnosis, by really like listening to what my body had to say and figuring out how to work better with it rather than just denying there was a problem. This next year, something I am actively working on and is in sort of included in the goals is separating movement and exercise from the idea of like being smaller and weighing less, which by all means logically I know should be done, but emotionally I'm not quite there yet. Finally, reach 1.5K on YouTube. And I remember when I wrote that down, I was like, that's low, I can hit that. I've lost subscribers since this time last year. To be fair, I have flopped. I'm just joking. I haven't fully flopped. I did live a lot of my life offline this year, which I didn't expect to do. So I understand why people who came when I was like, my life is changing, big crazy things are happening, and then I didn't show them. I get that. So my goal next year is to share more of it. And those were my 2025 goals. I did also have end of Q4 goals that I'm just remembering now. Let's look at them. I didn't do any of them. Don't worry about it, actually. Next, my 2026 goals. Pause if you'd like. First, read 52 books. I think much more reasonable. Reading a book a week is still a lot for like an average person who is like living their life. I genuinely was in such a bubble, like with nothing going on, that seemed, one book a week seemed low for me. So now I think a book a week is a healthy challenge that I can hopefully step up to in 2026, because I have been such in a slump. I don't think I've finished a book in 2 months. And like I said, I just didn't read that many books this year. I was a little busy. And so I'm not mad about it. I was like a little upset with myself, but it's a number. It's a fake number I made up, so it's fine. Next, moving to New York City. We're already making big moves behind the camera to make this happen. So obviously, to make this happen, some certain slots have to fall into place, and then I will need to reprioritize my spending, my money, all of those habits. We are moving, grooving, and shaking. And when I can officially tell you what's going on, I absolutely will. But I need confirmation first before things, you know, solidify. However, even if what I'm working on right now doesn't pull through, I would love by the end of 2026 to at least be in the process of moving out. Even if it's later than I'm expecting. Anyways, next, journal more. I feel like I journaled a lot this year. I journaled a lot across a bunch of different journals, and I sort of came up with a little journal system, which I had never had before. It used to be just, I had one journal I'd use, toss everything in there, and then I've sort of like liked spreading things out. And so this is my little goal journal, my like realistic goal journal, plus like feelings, and like if I ever need to write out a little script for myself, I write it in there. This is a journal Mackenzie gave me, and so I use this journal for therapy, and I use this journal in tandem for like any like big emotional things I need to get out now. This is sort of like my dumping journal of everything I need to just like put out there that I'm feeling, I'm putting in this. This one I've titled My Perfect Life. I think I've shown it to you before, but it's so cute. It has little doggies and flowers on it, and it just has like little things for every day. This is mainly like my manifesting journal, I guess you could call it. I essentially put only positive things in this journal because it's so beautiful, and I want like one purely positive space to like toss my dreams into. And so this is my perfect life dream journal of sorts. Genuinely, anytime I get a TikTok saying, hey, it's gonna be a new moon, hey, it's gonna be a full moon, this is what you should manifest, this is blah, 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 I'll write about it in here. Which is nerdy and like maybe a little too woo-woo, but oh well. It's gonna work for me how it's gonna work for me. And I've loved this. It's been so nice to like get back into physically writing things down. So I want to do it even more in the new year. Next, focus on big healing more. What I mean by big healing is I've discussed my like major Achilles heels on this channel many a time. The two big ones I'm talking about are my binge eating disorder and my, I guess you could call it binge spending as well. Both are like really deep rooted coping mechanisms that I've had since I was a child. The whole time I've been in therapy, it's like I have day-to-day anxieties that come up, and so I focus on those more frequently because they're problems I can solve, and then like once that's gone, that feels accomplishing, that feels good. However, these two big things are giant knots that I need to untether within myself, pick apart, and that is so daunting and emotionally taxing that I frequently will take on smaller, what I consider to be more like fixable tasks and focus on those instead so I can avoid the big problems, especially when I'm busy working on the smaller ones, because I feel accomplished, I feel like I'm getting things done, and I'm like, yes, I do want to work on this. But then whenever that is off my plate, I am once again left with these big major things that still influence almost every other part of my life. So my goal this year is to spend more time working on those two big things in therapy than on the smaller distractions. Next, I want to try 5 new recipes. I'm, in my opinion, not a great cook, but I want to cook for myself more. This year has really like gone out the wayside with that. I ordered so much food this year. Like DoorDash was my best friend. And so that absolutely like has to go in the new year in the way I've been using it. It is just sort of a thing about like, this isn't my kitchen, these aren't my utensils, like it's not my like stuff. And so I feel a little weirder using it. My family doesn't cook very much, so the vibe there is a little strange. But my goal is to cook a lot more in the new year, and I want to try at least 5 new recipes. Next, I want to take myself on at least 1 solo date per month. Obviously, I did a lot of dating this year, as I told you. A lot of dating. And I was finding myself like frequently after a bad or frustrating date, I was like, oh, what the heck? Because there would be things that I like would want to do, or like drop hints that I want to do specifically on a date, or like stuff like that, and they wouldn't get done, or it would just like kind of suck for whatever reason. And so I need to make it a priority to myself, I think in the new year, to take those things where I'm like, God, I would love to do this on a date, to instead just take myself, because I know I will enjoy it the way I want to enjoy it. So unless I somehow end up with like a partner who likes all the same things as me, I need to take myself more on things I want to do. So I have that as once a month. That would be nice. Get involved in at least one theater related class or event. Being back, like I said, has just really like sparked that creativity in me again, and I miss theater so bad. And one of the things my therapist and I talked about was me possibly joining an improv troupe or like doing an improv class, which feels like so cringy, but also like I do want to do that. So I would love to in the new year, especially once I've settled back into New York City, whenever that may be, because there's just so many available there. There are so many available. And so even if it's not that, if I audition for a show or something like that, I need to do at least one thing theatrically related next year. And then finally, my only money goal is pay off 2 credit cards and effectively take them out of the rotation. So like I said, very emotional spending year. The cards are looking about the same as they were last year. Not wonderful, not better, not worse. My money situation has been obviously like up and down all around. This upcoming year, I think, should be financially one of my better ones, and I'm committed to paying off at least 2 of my credit cards. I think I have 5 currently. I have 5 that are like general, major, you can use anywhere credit cards. I want to pay off at least 2 and cut them up, remove them from Apple Pay, remove them from everything so I can't use them. Because that is the only way like I'm going to improve my credit score and guarantee that it stays better, you know? So I need to keep the credit line open, but I need to not be able to use it. So by the end of 2026, I would like to have paid off 2 entire credit cards and stopped using them completely. Well, friends, we made it. I have talked at you for far too long. My throat hurts. My voice is going. I've loved filming this. This felt so good. Like I've said before, I'm feeling so ready for 2026. I loved 2025 and I haven't had like a really solid good year in a while. And so to be going into the next year, not just like praying it'll be better than the last, but like just like feeling better all around and entering a new year is nice. I'm sending you all the best, kindest, clearest wishes for a wonderful new year. I hope you enjoyed 2025. I know it was a shit show in many ways, for many reasons, and I hope 2026 treats you as wonderfully as you deserve to be treated. Thank you if you came and hung out with me for this long. I'm sure this will be a very long video. Hee hee, sorry. I'm just grateful that anyone would even watch and listen to this, so thank you if you do, and I hope you have a wonderful whatever time of day you're in, and a happy 2026, and I love you very much.